You're tired of working day in and day out, trying to find new customers, chasing leads, doing whatever work comes your way, and never getting to earn what you're worth. You do it because you love the work, and you're passionate about serving older customers and their families. We get it. What you need is more of the right customers for your business, and more income for you and your family, so you can grow and help more people in your community. Well, you're in the right place, because this is Booming Your Bottom Line.
Hello and welcome to episode 63 of Booming Your Bottom Line and another episode of Owers Chat. Our guest today is Cheryl Bartholomew. Cheryl is a certified senior fitness instructor and founder of Seniors in Sync, a provider of chair-assisted exercise programs for people experiencing limited mobility, balance issues, chronic disease, and/or obesity. Now, Cheryl is a member of the International Council on Active Aging. She was the at-large delegate to the 2005 White House Conference on Aging, a contributor to the ICAA Journal on Active Aging, and former director of fitness and lifestyle for a Sunrise Senior Living community. She's a resident of Bozeman, Montana, where she consults with the local Parks and Recreation and helped create their Active Aging program. She also advocates locally to implement aging-in-place support systems in Bozeman. Cheryl, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you having me.
Of course.
It's great to have you here, Cheryl, and I appreciate you being on to talk with us. Thanks for taking the time. And what we want to do for our listeners today is to basically have you tell us your story, the story of your business. We want you to share some insights and background so other small business owners across the U.S. that are serving boomers and older consumers can be inspired, learn from you as we chat here today, and they can be encouraged in their pursuit of that small business dream to help boomers and their families in the years ahead. So, Cheryl, if you're ready, why don't we dive right in with my first question?
Certainly.
Okay, so, just at the 50,000 foot level, let's start with what is your business and, what are your main services or products?
Well, I am a certified senior fitness instructor, and as a group fitness instructor, I create functional fitness programs for older adults, 50 and better, to help them improve their quality of life and remain functional for as long as possible and independently living.
Excellent.
I also have worked and am working as a consultant, worked in a number of venues, including senior living communities, community centers, active adult communities, and just a variety of senior venues.
All right. So where did the idea come from for your business?
It's almost like a calling for me. Before I became a senior fitness instructor, I was an educator. I taught elementary school for 25 years. But in the mid-90s, I began to have some foot issues and needed a 4-year period of foot surgeries. And as an elementary school teacher, I grew up in the Jane Fonda era, and aerobics and exercise was very important to me, and it was my stress release as an educator. So once I began to have these surgeries and ended up on a walker and surgical pins in my feet, and I was struggling to maintain my fitness and my energy level, I decided to explore options for non-traditional fitness. At the time, the senior fitness movement was just beginning. It was really pioneered around the early 90s, and I began to research and attend and take some courses, and I decided that this sounded like something I would love to do and would be very rewarding. So I moved from teaching 8-year-olds to teaching 80-year-olds.
Wow. Quite a leap, but good for you. Well, Mark and I both have, kids under 10. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and hey, don't feel bad. I just finished with my Thigh Master from Suzanne Summers before we got on, so I know where you're talking about. No, that's a great story. I appreciate that. So, as far as Bozeman or, your local community, how are you different than your competition? What's your, unique sales position that helps you stand out to your clients and compared to others?
I think my unique position, or I don't know if you call it a position, I would say it's more of my skills, my experience. I really feel that I have a very broad base of experience, and that my teaching skills really help me to connect with the population I serve. And I feel that that's really why and where I'm a little different. You know, it's not like walking into a gym where you have a pre-programmed class, and you either come in and you take part and you fit in, or you struggle through it, or you leave. My classes, and they're not all chair-based, my classes are designed for the individuals that I serve. I think my teaching experience, having been a teacher who worked with children with learning differences and so forth, I learned how to individualize, and those skills and communication skills and connecting and developing a sense of trust and respect. I have an immense amount of respect for the people I work with. So all of that, I think, helps contribute to the success of my classes and my programs.
Excellent. Well, that's a really great explanation. And so in terms of how you're reaching the people that you're serving, I know you have a relationship with the local Parks and Rec, but what are you doing to reach out to these consumers and to connect with them?
That's been a struggle to some degree. The marketing aspect of, and I've been in Bozeman for 4 years. Before that, I was in Virginia for 30 years. It's a little different in terms of the marketing availability and so on, but I do a lot of personal connection. That's really what I do. I don't have a website. I have found that personally connecting with people and businesses has been my best avenue to sell myself and to help them understand who I am and what I'm about.
Awesome. No, that's great advice. I think you're smart to be relationship focused. I'm going to pull you aside afterwards from a local search perspective and talk to you about a website. But one step at a time, and I think you're starting in the right place with relationships, and that's going to set you apart, just that connectivity and all that. So, good call. Can you give us a success story? I know you said you're new to Bozeman compared to Virginia, but let's talk about, not with names, just for privacy's sake, but a story that you've really made a difference in somebody's life and turned that around, and what comes to mind?
Well, as I'm still establishing myself in Bozeman, I'd like to talk about something that really made a difference for my business and for me back in Virginia. In 2006, I was hired by a large Sunrise senior living community as their first director of fitness and lifestyle. And the goal was to use fitness as a foundation to develop a culture of wellness within the community. And we did that over a period of 5 years very successfully. And so what I'd like to do is to share with you a couple of letters that came from the residents and or their families, because I feel that for me to tell you the success story is not as effective as to hear it from someone else. So if you don't mind, okay?
Yeah, no, pick a testimonial for sure.
Perfect. So the first letter was written by a family member of a 99-year-old gentleman who was coming to my exercise classes for years, and he passed away, unfortunately, before he reached his 100th birthday. But they sent me a lovely note. Dear Cheryl, we are writing this note to thank you for all the attention and encouragement to, and I'm going to change his name, Michael, over the past 2.5 years. It is because of you that he had a purpose and a plan for each day, and adjusted to life in the community so beautifully. We truly believe that his ability to live independently until the age of 99 was due in part to his physical strength and stamina that he derived from your classes. He quoted and spoke of you often, and we will treasure the photo we have of you with him. We thank you also for allowing Michael's granddaughters to participate in the classes during their visits. They loved being able to see him do his thing.
That's great.
Dear Cheryl, you have helped me enormously. I remember sitting down with you after the first class I attended right after moving here from the nursing home. I was really unsure of myself, still getting my feet into the independent living. I remember how kind and inspiring you were to me. You seemed to know exactly what I needed in a scary time of leaving the cocoon of the nursing home to live again on my own. And you did it exactly right. You've encouraged me to push myself as far as I can, at the same time to rein me in when I run amok. This is a tricky thing to do, but you succeeded. I have seen skills in action with other residents. You are simultaneously compassionate, insightful, and firm when necessary. You're enormously knowledgeable and more than hold your own in a tough crowd of people with very scary credentials. It was really a delight, a challenge and a delight. And then finally, I have one more. Your presence has made a tremendous difference in our lives here in this community. As you may remember, participating in your programs enabled me to recover after 4 long hospitalizations and 1 shorter one, to abandon walkers and to return to normal life. Your classes were so important, I didn't go to any of the outings that interfered with them. The way you have encouraged us to work hard and yet tune into our bodies helps keep us moving. In the midst of the exercises, you kept us informed of new developments in the health field and a world that touched our lives. Many contributions, another contribution to your many. Then you added other activities, helping us round out our programs, and I'm so appreciative. Besides your superb programs and your thoughtfulness and elan, you will be remembered here for years. So, those are just some of, I have 2 large books of testimonials and I would say just statements from people that I've asked through the years to please take a moment periodically to sit down and let me know how the programs help you, if you have suggestions to improve them, why you continue to return, and so on. That feedback is so important to me.
Excellent. Now, before we move on to the next question, I do want to ask you something about that feedback.
Yes.
You said you asked really regularly. How much of that has inspired change in the programs that you offer?
Most of it has been supportive of what I was doing, but changes in the programs, here's the thing, Mark. I think one of the things, and you asked me this question before, but I'll contribute to that answer now. One of the things I believe sets me apart from some other fitness instructors is that I am able to individualize. So listening to their input helps me to fine-tune my programs. I can take a program and offer it at a high level of a person who is able to do a more higher level of activity. And I worked in all 3 communities of the senior living: independent, assisted living, and memory care. I worked with people with dementia in exercising with them, people that couldn't actually speak anymore, but the music and the props I used engaged them.
Right.
So I don't know if I really answered your question as to what you were asking, but yes, the input was very important to help me fine-tune the programs and or to explore other ways to benefit them.
Right. No, you did fine. And the reason I even asked that was because a lot of times as a business owner, especially when you've been doing it for years and years and years, you kind of get in a rut. You're doing the thing that you do, and the innovation dies away. And the key to working with these older customers is knowing them. It's being able to align not just how you say what you do or the results that you get, but also the actual services themselves, to customize them a little bit for the people that you're serving. And it's so critically important to serving this demographic. So you did perfectly fine. That's exactly what I was looking for. So why don't you tell us what's on the horizon for you and your company?
Well, as you just mentioned, I don't like to be stagnant, and I'm constantly looking to learn and to promote new venues, new programs, new ideas. I am currently in negotiations with a couple of new venues. I'm looking for senior living models that are not the traditional model of senior living. In other words, they're more focused on preventive wellness than, illness care has to be part of taking care of older adults, obviously, but I think we don't do enough in terms of preventive wellness. And I think there are new models that are evolving that out of necessity and demand of the baby boomers. And so I'm looking to connect with them. I can license my programs to communities and train staff or my subcontractors. I have a business still going in Virginia with several subcontractors that I've trained, and I periodically go back and revisit the programs and evaluate and help them up level or change. So the door to opportunities, to me, I'm constantly knocking at that door. Sometimes it closes, and if it closes, another one usually opens.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Yeah. Well, good for you. You're really thinking ahead and, planning your future while, keeping your foot and learning from the past. So kudos to you. Well, you probably know by now, for Mark and I, booming your bottom line, we really believe that part of a great business life is life balance, and that includes for us giving back and finding ways to pay it forward in your own local community. So we always try to ask as we're wrapping up our questions, how do you or your company participate in your community and give back, whether it's a personal cause or a local charity or problem-solving effort that you support? What are you doing?
I think probably, over the years I've done presentations and educational presentations to various support groups, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and so on. But I think probably the best way that I give back to the community is through the International Council on Active Aging and their Active Aging Week, which is sponsored every year the last week in September. And this is an international event. I think last year they had something like 3,000 different hosts across our nation.
Wow.
Yes. And this has really grown from a very small group to quite an influential group. They present white papers at the White House Conference on Aging, and they're very influential, along with AARP. The Active Aging Week promotes wellness and fitness for older adults by offering free activities and events, educational seminars, brain health fairs, you name it, to celebrate and inspire and inform older adult populations about opportunities for them to remain productive and to age actively and successfully. And so I've been a host. I've been a coordinator. Last year we partnered here with others who were promoting Active Aging Week, and we're looking to expand that this year. We're hoping to get even a broader community involvement. I think that's really important because everything is offered for free. It's open to everyone, and we've had some terrific feedback from that.
Yeah, it's. I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because one of the things that we counsel business owners weekly, if not daily, is that their involvement in their local community is going to directly correlate with their level of success. I mean, you've got to get out there, and people have to see how much you care about the community you live in and how much you care about the people that live there. So
Or your movement, right, at a national level.
Right, exactly.
Yes. I believe in that, and I'm very passionate about my goals to improve the life and quality of life of older adults. I'm one of those myself. I'm an aging baby boomer.
So
I have an invested interest, yes.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice that you would give someone who's wanting to start or grow a business right now, you know, serving boomers and their families?
Do you mean in the senior fitness arena?
Just in general, as you know, one business owner to another.
Okay, so here's what I believe and what I try to model. First and foremost, you need to respect and have an appreciation for the population you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
And the senior population has made amazing contributions to family, to the workplace,
Mm-hmm.
to our society. And I think that we need to dispel some of the myths and ageism kinds of things that we hear or we associate with older adults. Communication skills are really important. Being a good listener is really important. And being sincere, because the older adult population doesn't want the flowery stuff. They want the nitty-gritty.
Mm-hmm.
And they want honesty. And if you say something, you need to deliver it.
Amen to that.
It's true. My 95-year-old grandfather, and I learned a lot about work ethic from him. Luckily, you know, my kids know him, and as far as staying active, he could still beat me at bocce ball or beanbag toss. So, you know, I've got a living testament to that. Well, great advice. Thank you very much. And Cheryl, you've been an awesome guest with us here today, and we really do take pride in having owners on like you, and appreciate you taking the time, because there are listeners out there with Booming Your Bottom Line all across the United States that can use this type of insight and advice from the small business owners that are out there serving older consumers and their families. So great job, and thank you again. And before we get out of here, of course, why don't you tell folks how to get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. I guess the best way to reach me would be to contact me directly. In my email is fitseniors, FITSEINORS @gmail.com. That's probably the best way to reach me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to talking with anyone about how senior fitness affects the lives of those they love, and give any pointers that I can.
Excellent. All right. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode of BYBL Owner's Chat and are leaving a little more inspired today. Thank you for listening, and until next time, be well, be bold, and boom your bottom line.